Hello. So, I'm going to be honest, I kind of suck at aiming, and throughout this video I'm going to elaborate on that. So this video is intended for those at the FPS Aim Trainer subreddit. You guys have been very helpful. You provided some useful feedback from my previous videos. I'll also post this video to YouTube, so hopefully others can view it and get something helpful out of it. So my background is I have over 500 hours of Kovacs, but overall I've shown this an improvement. I think the reason for this is low sensitivity. It gave me a sense of control and precision and smoothness, and the issue with low sensitivity in my opinion is that it doesn't reveal the weaknesses you have in your aim technique. As you move to higher sensitivities, weaknesses are more apparent, like shakiness issues, smoothness issues, precision issues. So by using a low sense, the issues I had with my technique weren't very apparent to me, so I didn't feel particularly motivated or even aware to address them. Also, I had a tendency to overcomplicate my aiming technique. Depending on where the enemy was relative to my crosshair, I would use a specific part of my arm in isolation. So if they're very close to the crosshair, use my fingers. If they're a short distance away, use my wrist. Far distance, I'd use a combination of elbow for horizontal and then shoulder for vertical. So what that meant in game, in Call of Duty, is that I would be thinking too much about what part of my arm do I use. It's like if I am going walking, it's like thinking about what muscles should I use to move my leg forward. So it just made things more difficult. So my objective for this video is to provide some highlight clips of my best scores for the benchmark scenarios, just to give you an idea of where I am at the moment. In a future video I will provide an update on where I am, hopefully after I progress to the next tier, so I can compare the improvement and talk about what I've learned. And I'll share my scores, and I'll just discuss the kind of aim technique I've been using in my benchmark runs. So if you could provide any feedback on the technique I was using, any improvements you could suggest, or any articles or resources or videos you could suggest I could look at to give me more information. Here are my results from my playthrough of the Voltaic Benchmark scenarios. As you can see, I think I did okay. Majority of my scores were silver. I got 1 gold and 6 bronze. So I'm quite happy with that for a first run. It seems the biggest area for improvement seems to be clicking, given that that's where I got most of the bronze scores. My tracking looks pretty good, considering I got a gold and the rest are silver and there's 1 bronze. And target switching looks pretty good. I think what I found most challenging was the smooth bot scenario. So smooth bot Voltaic easy for the tracking and smooth bot TS Voltaic easy for the switching. For me to achieve bronze in the tracking precise scenario, smooth bot Voltaic easy, it did take me more than 5 attempts to get a bronze score. It took me about maybe 8 times, because in the first few run-throughs my centering was very poor. I really struggled to stay on target. So the way I addressed that, what I did was I imagined a circle around the bot, so a kind of a little bit of a larger area to aim at, and I would very smoothly track that area, and I found that that helped me produce much smoother movement. And once my crosshair was in this imaginary circle, if I was not on the bot, I would then use my fingers to move onto the bot, and I found that when I did that my score improved drastically, and I was much more consistent in hitting the target and staying on it. So my next step will be to get all of my scores into the silver tier. I don't think that'll be very difficult, and I think my next video will come out once I'm in gold for at least the majority of scenarios, or even all of them. And once I get into gold, I think I'll do a video where I share my experience with that, so maybe changes to my technique, things like that. So now that I've shown you the benchmarks, I'll show you the clips from the best scores I achieved in the scenarios.